are underway with the first round. And we're seeing some early setup from Valve below, as it's not going to be top floor to kick things off.
I mean, we've seen this across the last couple of months of play. It was very rare even during the qualifiers for this inside of Europe, which we covered, to see any team realistically go to that top floor on Cafe. It's a subject of map to age. It's been the primary site for so long. Teams are used to it, so they're kind of rotating away from it, and a different variation. Valkyrie cameras being placed, and it will be a key idea. Benja going to be given an operator, and that's going to give Benja a little bit of freedom to roam around the map. Likely going to be playing to deny entries and use those C4s to the best advantage possible. And so Benja on a good SMG, and he can do work for the team, and I think he will have that freedom in this lineup.
Yeah, I think Benja will have a big say on it. We're seeing, though, a nice extension being played from SSG to kick things off, but you know, speaking to the desk beforehand, one of the biggest problems this team has had has been on the defense, and Whip It, they look like they're setting up to rush right through that door. They've got Blitz, they've got Twitch. Once they get a little bit of drone work, this could be 3, 2, 1, go.
The bigger thing about this, though, it's not a 5-man commit. It's going to be 2 bodies committed to this. A Twitch on that drone to gather extra information, and the Blitz can just take that site directly. Charge on it. Force won't last too long in this, and you've left yourself exposed. Site is now fallen, and SSG need to try and work for that retake. And that plant goes down. It's absolutely perfect from w7m. Loban gets one of the action. Ashen gets one, but it might just be a consolation prize. 4 versus 3, and the split gets aggressive in Laundry. Meleeed away, but SSG all pinned in that corner. 3 bodies stacked in, and it's going to be absolutely fish in the barrel. Loban finding 3. And the thunderous roar of w7m right behind us lets you know how much that means. But what an opening round and a great take. And they spotted the weakness from SSG, and they took that opportunity perfectly.
And there's nothing that SSG could do in the opening stages as well. You were trapped in the corner. There was no rotate into Laundry whatsoever. It was easy pickings for Blitz to push in. But I love the way they played that as well. Usually you'd see the shield operator being the one that carries the case, pushing in and getting that down. But instead, Blitz exploded into sight, got the opening kill while the diffuser was going down. And that is why you usually see the operators like Dokkaebi being banned as well, because once that phone call lined up, particularly with the cam that they had with the information, it was just such an easy execute for the opening round.
w7m made that look easy, but that's a sentiment to the caliber of this team, who's on that upward trend. But SSG also didn't put up many roadblocks to stop that. You had Forest playing in sight alone. No one was there to support you. 1 anchor on the site alone. And, you know, you've got a great combination of weapons to duel up close, but when a shield's bearing down upon you with support with DMR behind, not a lot you can do. So w7m do a great job taking that. We move to our second one, and we see a vastly different addition, our lineup from SSG, new site coming into it, and we will see the Maestro getting picked up. Brava is in effect, so Loban has a perfect counterplay to those evil eyes across the map. Expect to see that interaction play out as this round plays on.
Yeah, they've made the extension inside a big bakery as well, but they don't have Jaeger or Wamai to catch any utility that might be thrown their way if the attackers elect to do so. First signs of an early gunfight, as we do have a defender inside of VIP, but for w7m, it's all about establishing a little bit of map control in these early opening stages of the round. And look at the drone economy as well. They lost all their prep phase drones, which is great work from SSG.
Well, they're going to get one more. That's going to be a clutch drone off from Loban. So already utilized, all your prep drones, plus one of your Bravo drones, and information, of course, going to be a very vital resource on a map like Cafe. Lots to clear, lots to deal with. And Ashen could be a problem if remained undetected. Crosshair is going to be crossing very soon. The Dokkaebi call goes out, and that might be the worst nightmare for Ashen. Clutch drone, though, will go out towards VIP, and that's the first of those. 3 Maestro cameras has been compromised, and that's going to be essentially an infinite pool of information. That leaves Ashen very vulnerable if he rotates out. So SSG, very quickly, this roam presence can be compromised with a single player hopping on cameras from the side of w7m.
You're going to be able to see inside of VIP. You're going to see if your player moves out of co-check here as well. There is a cross being held by Fultz, but real good patience from Loban here, just trying to bait that opening kill in the early stages. 1:30 to play with, and still everyone's patient, and Loban's timing a fraction of a second holding that angle, and he would have got the opening kill of the round.
I was about to compliment the patience of Loban, but he begins to move away, and it's gonna, that almost prime opportunity, that prime position he's covering, just slips away from him. Slow round from w7m, taking their time to posture and gesture what they want to do. Double and Bakery opened up, the Goyo canister can be popped to delay some time. Bees go out, Dokkaebi calls ring out across the map as well. Fulps, what a shot to Fulps. On the falls. Looks to find a second one. Difficult angle. Flank shoulder peeks around the door frame. Under a minute now to work in this round, and Ashen has a difficult job to do. Benja takes a lot of damage, but he does fire off, and Loban's going to be first to fall for the side of w7m. A retaking coat check could be critical for this, and w7m's attacks ran out of steam. SSG might have put up another roadblock to hold on. 40 seconds remain. Can w7m turn the tide?
Canisters burning though, still preventing the entry inside the map as Maestro will go down at the hands of Dash, and now Volps will make his move, but he falls. Ashen able to get that kill. You spoke about how important coat check could be, but it's a 3 versus 2. Dota is now pushing down red stairs. Look at the amount of time that is being delayed off the back of this one. There's a cross. This kill could be important. You see, as you can see, Benja holding one angle. There's no way this player in red should get through, but he does. He manages to take down Ashen. It's a 2v2. The counter swing wasn't there. Eventually it comes through from Benja, and there you go. The defenders level the sides.
J9-0 and Benja, very important wins there. But that fight and coat check, no right to win that as that Dokkaebi. But that is that kind of that tide-turning gunfight you need to win in these positions. Now we've seen 2 rounds played, 1 apiece, and SSG done a good job slowing the pace to a crawl. And w7m, while they had every piece of that puzzle essentially set up, they had information, they had players in the right position around that map to make something work. SSG just delayed time, and they made themselves difficult to shoot, because, are you ready for this one? If you don't peek, you can't die.
But if you look at the way that SSG have set up the opening stages of every round as well, on that front side of the building, they're opening up or creating potential spawn peaks that they're not even peeking from. And what that does is it makes those, those attackers that spawn in around docks, it eats, 5-10 seconds. You got a drone, you're not going to run out and peek it without getting the information. So by not actually being there, but by opening up the window just a tad, you're creating phantom pressure.
So Gibson, I would like to draw your attention to the defensive lineup. Is that a Capcan I see? So Gibson, I will ask you here on LAN at the Esports World Cup, who will fall victim to a Capcan trap?
I'm going to say Volps.
Ooh, okay. So chat, if Gibson is correct, I don't know.
What were you going to do?
I don't know.
What were you going to say?
I thought the thought would come to me, and it didn't.
Oh, so you started the sentence
exactly
with so much like the way G2 kind of play the rounds. You kind of make it up on the fly, and it just didn't come to you at the end.
They've not even made the event. They're not even in the country.
Are they not?
No, believe.
Oh, wow.
Can you tell there's some? Can you tell there's something there, Gibson?
but yeah, this has been a pretty good start for w7m. Even though SSG won that last round, I feel like they're doing a great job of getting that opening pick. Pressure now, as you can see, they're getting on the windows. The castle barricade enables this player inside of Piano to just solely focus on the windows. It means that he's pretty invulnerable from the red drop until that wall gets opened up. So you've seen this many a time in the past, and what they want w7m to do is try to take this map from the top down. This is exactly what SSG want. w7m are playing into it, and there's the opening pick. A great C4 from Ashen, but Loban will find a trade as Fultz will fall.
Ashen, yes. Yeah, not too sure about that one. Interesting play, dives him towards that fire and bathroom. Loban's quick to recover. He was marked by the bees, deployed out by Grim, and very quickly w7m in the hands of Loban, finding 3. He's not walked into a Capcan trap just yet, and leaving Forest alone against 4. Needs a quad kill to save this round. A minute 25 on the clock. Not a lot he can do. The Grim bees deployed, they'll hunt him down, and they're waiting for a single footstep, a single ping, and trying to find him. See how close they are to him, but he'll be patient. He'll sit still. He'll hold his angles, as the team will likely be calming around him, trying to figure out what went wrong. Cautious of drones scouting out his position, but w7m, they have such an advantage, but they're not going to press it. They're going to wait and be patient. They don't want to overextend. They don't want to make a mistake. Very risk-adverse play. Leaving flashbang in the cover that drop in the laundry. And that's exactly where Forest is. He'll get marked. I know more B sent out.
They've had a minute, and it'll be a minute and a half by the time this round ends that it's been a 4v1. So they don't need to rush. You don't have to try find that kill. Once you get the case down, after about 5 or 6 seconds, we might see some troll time where they allow 1 or 2 players to go find the kill. But for Forest, this is unwinnable. Vertical control has been established. The case is being watched. He spots the gun, he misses it, but a great crossfire from Fireplace. Loban will get the kill, and w7m starting this brilliantly on the attack in Cafe.
I mean, fantastic done by Loban, finding 3. Essentially, the round just cracked up open around him, finding that, and the entirety of SSG dissolved. Ashen got a great C4, but I felt got a little bit panicked. We got marked by the Grim Bees and ran out of space as he couldn't move in towards bathroom as the Flames for Capitao cut off that rotation. So great team play from w7m to enable that position. Very impressed from them in that regard. They get themselves that second round, but SSG, I think very clearly to me, look like they want to make a slow defense from them. They're not going to... Again, we know that this side prefers offense. They have a strat book, a playbook that Call Out loves to summon for this team. The defense, it's more about survival. I think that slower style of play is kind of very much making me feel that it's just about getting through this opening 6 rounds, trying to reduce the deficit as much as possible as they move on towards that offensive side, which they are much more comfortable on.
It's a thing, right? It's on Cafe. And SSG historically on defense haven't been the best. It's been the one kind of factor that slowed them down. So a 2-1 lead to w7m won't really surprise anybody at home. Yes, SSG will be disappointed with the start, but for w7m, this is exactly what they would have wanted to kick things off. Different lineup being brought out once more. You can see Nomad had a bit of an effect in that last round. Here's a spawn peek. You can spot the player, but missing the opportunity is J90. No kill to be found, but now you can still begin to set up inside of Piano. You can start getting those Kiba barriers down, and you know, nothing ventured, nothing gained.
Exactly. I mean, I like it when teams have the confidence, at least. You know, you're trailing, but it's only by 1 round, still early in this best of 1, so may as well try something. And if it works, of course. Up on towards the roof will be Loban. On Striker, the brand new recruit rework. Extra utility and that M4. w7m will be beginning to posture themselves up, and you see this pressure from that window repel on Cocktail, cracked open. Wow, Forest ready for it. No, J90 ready for it, I should say. Let's see how this one keeps playing out. I think SSG are going to make this a very slow round.
It's exactly what they want to do. You know, they want to slow them down. w7m, they're going to start clearing the whole map. There's already a minute gone. We've not had an opening engagement as such to speak about, and as it stands, this is exactly what SSG want. Look at how slow w7m are attacking, but for SSG, just don't make any little mistakes. Let w7m be the team to make that first move and be able to get the kill off of that.
I mean, you think about how Cafe plays out, though. You've got very restrictive entry points, and, you know, operators like Dokkaebi are going to be very key to get that information, make that entryway work. Again, you don't have a Ying, so you don't have that kind of one-and-done opportunity to be able to break through for it, and, of course, the barriers are vulnerable through to that rifle play. Dots on that Nomad, ARX in hand, and this is just going to be gathering information. The red pings go out, they're fully aware. Benja could be a key factor here. They jump on board with him. Down below with that Legion. Not making that dive up red stairs just yet, and here's going to be the power of those Kiba barriers. J90 be able to manipulate the map to his favor. Has a lot of cover to work with. His Forest taking a metric amount of damage, and Dot's going to find the opening. J90 first to fall upstairs. w7m lead early in this round.
Yeah, and that's what you were kind of talking about. Don't give the opening pick away. Dots will double down. Fultz now falls as another call will come through from Dokkaebi. This will really slow down SSG even more. They've got to take some time out, and Ashen will find a really important kill onto Dots, and that's the case down as well.
Oh,
another
no.
gunfight. Oh, that's like watching me play Loban. Benja is going to fall, and whip it. There we go. Ashen will get that kill as well, but it's a 3v2. There's 39 seconds to go. This could still go either way.
w7m, they'll have all the control verticality established for them. They hold that. No one can play inside of reading room. That side's completely cracked open. And verticality still chewing through. Oh, Ashen. Like 2 ships in the night. Misses that opportunity to find that pick. That could have been the leveling ground. But again, w7m taking the time disadvantage. One player. They'll drop in the pillars. Body stacking up. The cover from heaven should be good, but it's not there in time. Opportunity now for Ashen to make something stick. Finding one, Forest with a knife on the dash as well. All down the VUPs. Drops in straight to Ashen. What a play from SSG, a huge recovery. And you can hear that roar from behind us. Ashen stands up tall. What a play in pillars to make that round work. And Forest with a knife as well.
Love it. Things you love to see. We love to see Forest doing things, but Whip It, it was... Honestly, w7m have got to be really disappointed with that round. They had all the chips in the right place to take the round win, and they let it slip away. And funny enough, off the back of a round win, you know, with just 2 rounds left on the defensive half for SSG, Callout has elected to take a timeout. And I spoke to him recently about the, you know, the thought process of the timeouts, and he said he will only ever take one early, if there's enough defensive rounds left or enough rounds in that half that he can make an impact on those rounds, and B, if there's something critical, if there's something he's really seeing that he's not liking from his team, he will slow it down. And being honest, I wouldn't be surprised if what he's talking about right now is not playing too aggressive in those 5v5s at times whenever you've got key positions of the map being held.
While, of course, I think playing a little bit more reserved could work for them, they're already playing reserved. It feels like they're going to get pushed out. Utility usage from w7m has been good to find that opening pick, but again, are they going to play around denying that? Wamai getting brought out now by Ashen, and that's going to be maybe playing into that. The Capital have also been very good at clearing out these key positions for it, but for SSG, that one play, that round, that 2 versus 3 that they just won, that could be a catalyst for this team. They like to get energized, they like to play around. It's a very emotional side, so they can get into it. We can jump on board with this one. w7m have absolutely... Oh no, Benja, listen. Benja is a great player. That doesn't show it. But this play here from Ashen... Oh, Forest! Oh, that's a freebie.
We picked up Benja, and then we have to do him dirty with that replay.
I don't know what to say about that one, really. I'm like, must be windy back then. That's what it is. It's windy in the playing stage.
That is, the air conditioning is really powerful.
Exactly. Benja just couldn't tame the mouse with that one. But Forest, again, saw the opportunity. The Ashen denies that cover. Forest creeps around, gets the knife kill. It looks great. We don't see that too often, but again, massive play. I mean, SSG, great position from them now. The build off that moment. Just can they make things work? And a bit of delay getting in here before. But for w7m, they've played fantastic so far. As we look towards the second half when we get there, do we see w7m being able to deal with the, not unpredictability of what SSG bring, but it's the very, let's say, unique style of offense this side offers?
I think that when you play in Brazil as your primary region, you're going to be in a position to defend against explosive plays like SSG like to do. You know, it's what we've seen Furia do in the past. You know, that old w7m roster that became that. You know, I think the exception to the rule was probably NIPs, but I think that they'll be fine. But the main thing for SSG is that they don't do what they tend to do and end up, when you're not given that opening pick or nobody gives it early, that you're forced to try to put every, rush site with 30 seconds left on the clock.
And of course, during this delay, of course, we can mention that there are games being played across a variety of channels today. Check all your social media channels for that, where these games are being playing. But, I mean, we've got Cruelty BDS being played, and that's a game, actually, that we personally have stakes in, Gibby, I have to mention, of course, as we covered Latin America during Stage 1 this season. And, listen, Cruelty went to Manchester, didn't look great. I'll be honest there, I'll be candid with my words. But a new pickup, Dante comes to that roster. We spoke a little bit to him before we went live, and clearly a team that has a lot to prove, and they're striving, they want to learn, they want to get out to these events, and they look relaxed, they look confident. Now, I don't know what the score is. I don't have that information to me, how that game is going so far, but BDS can be difficult beasts to tame, but if Cruelty can get 4 rounds against them, it would be a massive result for them.
Yeah, BDS and Riyadh is a tough ask for anybody, isn't it?
Shaiko over here. I mean, what? MVP of the R6 tournament 2 years in a row. Massive prize benefit for him. So he's got a lot to play for this. And a little bit of legacy, of course. Traveling out here previous 2 years, of course, with a separate event, Gamers 8, hosted here in the Boulevard as well. I mean, BDS, I mean, we'll talk about it. The Des mentioned it a little bit. That side, went to Manchester, looked to be unstoppable, and now all of a sudden that we see, that they lose to Beast Coast. Beast Coast had this monumental run. Gunner had a little bit of a revenge tour. I think someone might have lit a fire underneath him for that one. I wonder if they're co-streaming this.
I feel like, though, when you look at that final that they lost, that was the perfect storm for Beast Coast. I don't think you'll ever see everything fall into place as perfectly as it did for that miracle run. The coach's last main event, you've got all, as we like to say, the misfits coming to one place and winning an international tournament. But out here, BDS are built different. But we'll pick up on that a little bit later on. We're going to jump back into SSG against w7m. 2 rounds left on the defensive half for SSG. What's a win for them with it on their defense? We know that they're a little weaker. Do you see the 3-3 as a win for them, or do they still expect to get 4 rounds against w7m?
I think realistically, for either of these sides, if you come in after the opening half and you're able to say that you're level, it's not an ideal position, but again, it's better than trailing for either of these sides. But again, I'm still looking at this. I think w7m have played a really good offensive from the 2 rounds victories that we've seen from them. They do, so far, have that tendency to get an early advantage or even a mid-game advantage and slow the game down to a crawl. And that leaves SSG with opportunities to work a play around it. They can work the problem. You know, Forest in a 4 versus 1, not really winnable. But when you have 2 players alive, and you have attrition and Forest able to make a play off each other, that's where SSG can still be dangerous. And if w7m, I think they need to have that lethality. They need to go for that throat when they see the chance, because I think there's enough around this SSG team that if you give them time to work a problem, they can solve it. And they have the talent to make that work.
Looking at the lineup that's been brought by w7m, and they've brought Brava. Obviously, we don't see a Maestro or Valk this time around for SSG, but when you look at the secondary utility being brought by w7m, lots of flash grenades, lots of smokes, I think the Brava might get a lot of value working against that Wamai, because a lot of the successful attacks from w7m, they've used a lot of utility. SSG have now worked to counter that with Wamai, and now the Brava could be able to catch a couple of those discs. Otherwise, you know, you're not really picking Brava for the weapon. Maybe you could use a super shotty to create some verticality. But I feel like maybe that's a waste to pick, but never mind. Loban would get the opening kill.
Oh,
Benja
no,
falls.
he's on the roof. No. I'm not a fan of that one. I'm leaving the rank stack after that, I can't lie.
He's not even played ranked this season. What are you talking about?
I just don't want to queue with you. You're too much of a troll. But Loban gets an opening pick. Benja's off the board. You lose your Legion. Coup mine's generated over time. It's going to be a little bit of a blow, detriment to the team later on, but not the massive one. But the firepower of Benja on that T5 SMG, no longer applicable for the side of SSG. w7m begin to work their way towards this map to get that top floor control, dropping in the red hatch. You see that blue silhouette of one member of SSG still lurking in Piano and Cocktail. Let's see if they can make something stick from it. w7m yet again taking their time, not rushing in, want to make the right decisions. Well, going to make the wrong one there. Ashen peeks out, finds dots, in that case goes cold. SSG get themselves back to a level playing count.
Yeah, Case is going to fall. There's a now fight with red stairs going on. There's a flash grenade being thrown, but no damage being dealt. And look at the cover from J90 as he's able to help out Ashen. Fultz falls and Dodes gets another onto J90 as well. Suddenly everything falls apart, but a bit of a trade. And Forest now in a 1v3, 1v2 of standing players. But I don't know if that res is going to come through. Forest is covering it. The case is cold, but it don't matter. Vulps gets the kill. w7m take the lead again.
I think we're going to see, this is going to be, I think w7m 4-2 split on the defense. That's where I'm seeing this one go. Again, SSG, great job. Ashen behind that mining equipment, done a very good job to get that pick. The case goes cold, and the team just fell apart instantly. And that's just through the explosive capability of what w7m can bring. They're able to find those picks, and there was nothing really traded off for SSG within that chaos. At least nothing that stuck. It was only a DBNO that was maximized from it. But 3-2 your scoreline. SSG, survival mode, but a 4-2 split. If they do lose this, isn't the worst place to be moving onto your attacking side on Cafe, considering this team does like to attack.
It is off the back of their tactical timeout, though. No
That is
more
true.
left to use. That could be key going later into the game. If, you know, w7m do take that 4-2 half, and Callout cannot communicate with his team for the rest of the game, it becomes a very tough battle indeed for SSG. But for w7m, this has been a really good start. They're getting the opening kills. You know, I'm looking at it. Most of the rounds they've been able to find that opening pick. They're changing their pace. The very first round was a rush where they got the case down within the first 30 seconds. They're keeping SSG on their toes. And it's one of the things that I think Brazilian teams do so well at the moment.
The Dokkaebi use from the side of w7m has been superb as well. Another one of those things teams will be looking out on again. It's whenever you leave Dokkaebi available, teams are going to use it. And an Echo in flight being brought out here and aggressive. Oh no, this is a dangerous one. Not a lot of space to run. And well, I appreciate the confidence. Fultz does fall. Dots gets that opening pick, and again, that's going to be a worst case scenario now for SSG. An aggressive peek out from Whitestairs window. That Bailiff can shred you up close and personal, so a dangerous one, but they'll not cross path just yet. But SSG, one player down so early. A little bit of damage done to both Fulbs and Dots from those early encounters. And well, it's going to be an aggressive play from Ashen. Jumps out, finding one. Vulps off the board. And he'll get a free recovery all the way in garage. Great timing from SSG to bring themselves level in player count yet again.
What I love about that is he timed the vault out in time with the call from the Dokkaebi as well, which, you know, usually expect players to freeze at that point. There's a move down the stairs. Ashen gets a double on the round as he's still not made his way back to site. But that is huge from Ashen to give SSG a really good chance in this round, having lost the opening pick.
Ashen having yet another fantastic round, and I have a feeling that this might be a moment where Ashen might start to heat up in this. Before we had that technical pause and the scoreboard reset, he was leading in terms of frags for this side, so continuing that trend so far. IQ on the board, those Yokai drones won't remain hidden, no matter how much you hide them. Opening all the way in white wall as well. Long angle, long line of sight. Dodes, though, can't deny that with his ACOG. Red goes out, burns away that barbed wire. Knows it's going to be a threat lurking in Christmas and VIP. Needs to deal with it. And he's very alone, isolated, limited utility to work with, limited information to work with. He'll play off assumptions here. No one to trade him if he does fall.
Shotgun close though from J90. If he times this perfectly, it's as free as they come. Another attempted push is going to come from Brownstairs. But remember, the barbed wire still hasn't been cleared. There's a bit of utility thrown. There's two players stacking up. There's the smoke. That'll at least make a lot of damage. But they're pushing, they're getting aggressive, and that's going to be VIP has fallen. Dodes will find the kill on the J90, and Ashen will need to continue his big round. There's one on Brown. He misses that shot, but the trade is good. Dots is there to take him down. 3v2 Echo still in play with 35 seconds. That could be a huge problem as long as Benja can just keep slowing them down.
Benja plays such a key role in this round. Needs to keep all the pressure away from his Echo. Unsure how many of these Yokai drones still remain in the fray. IQ, of course, a massive factor in this. And Benja needs to win his ones. And that's exactly what he'll do. Finding one, finding two. Benja millimeters away from the third. But 13 seconds remain. SSG look golden to get this round locked out. 000 is going to be a nightmare. But Benja finding three. That's what he needed. And that's what SSG find to bring themselves level in the half.
Benja and Ashen, that's exactly what they would have wanted to when they had those two players on your roster. Ashen laid the foundations for that round one with the huge vault out the window, the kill on Brownstairs, and then Benja in that position. Yes, your Echo was enabling you with whatever information you could get from the Valcams, from the Echo drones, but Benja comes in clutch. And whenever they were playing well, when G2 were playing well, that's the sort of play that Benja was making more frequently than you would have expected.
Oh, millimeters away from a perfect three-piece, but he collects it a little bit later on. That's what I like to see, the emotion, the passion from Ashen. Feel like the emotional core of that side. And Benja, well, Benja's stoic. He won't, quite a little Dane.
Did you notice, by the way, in the background, J90 was, you know that, meaning not bad. He was like, you know, we didn't expect doing that. That wasn't bad. Take it.
But that's, I mean, for SSG though, that brings some level on that defense. So we're moving to their side of preference, realistically. Then this is where this side has been much better across international and regional play. So can they keep that going here against it? I mean, I love this style of team. I mean, I've not seen how this team's played with Benja. Of course, a massive shake-up of roles as Iconic departs his team. Benja steps in. It's not a one-for-one change. But the ideas that Call-Out brings to this team, the structure they have, I've always enjoyed watching them play. And they solve the problem now. W7m's defense.
20 seconds gone already. Drone economy is excellent for SSG. They've only lost one so far, and they've still got Dokkaebi to enable those pushes, you know, that phase-by-phase tech that they want to do. Now, they've opened up that long angle from Garrick's side, but it's a real extension from W7m. Nobody's really playing on site because of the danger of the verticality on this map. An opportunity there for Loban to find a kill, but both players will manage to avoid each other this time around. But this is what the plan is with this defense. You don't hold the site, you hold everything adjacent to this. Oh no, Forest.
Scrappy either way. 50-50 gunfight. There's no bias in that one. Dudas gets it. He might be able to find himself a second. Flashbang goes out. Timing's not perfect. Benja finding one more in the round brings his team level in player count. And well, I like this from Benja. Bounding in, taking space, taking control. Very stylistic of what we see from SSG. Now met by mess of barbed wire in this hallway. He's got a player in VIP to deal with. He still has one logic bomb in back pocket. Limited support. Ashen, realistically, the closest who can provide that on the other side of the map, but two bodies stacked up, and they'll clear away this barbed wire on Brownstairs. And actually, no, they won't, but they'll get some extra information. They know it's going to be a two-stack holding that push from Garage.
Yeah, they heard you say it, so they weren't going to do it because they're actually sitting right behind you. But this is where the verticality starts to happen, so don't expect much to happen for the next 20-30 seconds other than angles being created. But this is what W7m have set up for. They're like, we're going to let you create the verticality. We'll put a little bit of pressure on the ground floor. But trying to take sites where the problem arises, because there's a player in VIP holding that hatch drop, and because there's a player inside of Whiskey making sure nobody comes down brown stairs, it makes the push that SSG are trying to do incredibly difficult.
This is going to be a must-win fight for either side. Flores drone goes out. They're going to push behind it. They don't commit all the way. They can't, but no, the flashbang's mistimed. Benja can't get his one. Loban finds one more. Ashen falls. VIP remains a fortress for w7m. 35 seconds. SSG reduced to 2. J90 and Fultz, the last remaining survivors of this side. Still need to break the defense inside of that site itself. Zodo counter sent out, the last of that arsenal, and Fultz will get one. That's Loban off the board. And this could be the lifeline that they so desperately need. J90 is going to fall to Vulps. And it's going to be a drop into death as Vulps finds 2. Picks up the round, the very first defense for w7m.
I'm looking at the round history of this game, and they have gone back and forward every single round.
Yep.
w7m, SSG, w7m, SSG. It has continued that way from the very start, and to be honest, when we looked at today's matchups, this is the one that looked like it was going to be this way the most. Now, this game will be won by the team that can get 2 rounds in a row, that can stop this little back and forward that we have going on now, because you feel like with the way they're playing, once there's breathing room, it becomes very difficult to close that gap.
I agree. I mean, SSG need to keep this in touching distance. I feel like they can do that for w7m. If they get the 2-round advantage here, I would lean in favor of them being able to take the map from that moment. I feel like this team, again, this core 5 together longer, new addition to SSG being made. I think they'll manage the game better from that leading position once they get daylight between them. But SSG, not out of this just yet. Still lots of fight left in them. Upstairs we go. Bulbs will be donning a Solace. Not as strong as he once was.
No, but still good. But this setup is one that I love. So what we'll see is Mute will play inside of Humidor with the shotgun, with the C4 ready to top the red drop. You've got the castle barricade to stop a player from getting on the rappel and getting an angle inside of Humidor, and you've got the mirror to stop them from taking control of Piano itself. So it's a very aggressive defense from w7m that just makes it a little bit more difficult to drop red hatch, which is something you see teams do oh so often. What w7m want SSG to do is to drop those hatches and try play that way, but they might be forced to maybe take the map from below or go for some sort of a dive through the skylight, because as it's all set up to stop the red drop.
The thing is, SSG don't have the resources to do something like that dive bomb from the skylight if they need something drastic. They don't have that Ying, it's going to be a very important part of that. So the addition of the gridlock to me seems like it's going to be a very, very typical take, or at least stylistic approach from them. And the Solace down below is going to be a massive factor for the defense of w7m. Able to hunt out drones, able to manipulate and weave around the map to remain undetected at least best that they can. Be a massive factor though. Dots does take damage early from that window. Difficult angle, C4 prepped and ready. And they will descend down to keep themselves in this fight. This is going to be the threat now. The Solace down below sees that Claymore, knows pressure's arriving on that window, and can make an aggressive push. And well, place their cards a little bit, showing and revealing their positions as track stingers begin to deploy.
I like the aggression though. It just slows the attack down that little bit more by creating little bits of pressure at a time. Solace is still below, getting all this information for the team. A ton of utility now being pushed.
Fantastic.
This is really good attack. There's Capital forcing Dores up on top of the balcony, but Whippet, they've not been able to play off it.
They didn't get that pick, and they've no one to capitalize on the space that bot. So when that fire, when the bees go away, and you've lost your 2 nades, there's not a lot you can do other than taking a gunfight down below, but he's now safe from that in the most sense of it. So SSG, they've played their strat, and now they have to adapt on the fly. This is where the pressure of your IGL falls on, and Ashen is going to fall off that playing camp now. So 4 versus 5, advantage with the defense of w7m. SSG strategy, they've sent it, didn't work, didn't get the space, couldn't capitalize. Now what can they do? w7m have to sit, coast, and be patient, as that time, every second that ticks down, is going to help them up. And as you mentioned, they've got to make that dive bomb. They've got to make that final play. Jumping down that sky, that's going to be a flurry of kills all for w7m. As now it's down to try and recover and scrap away through what's left of this round, but nothing remains. All down to J90. Mirror window staring him down. Not a lot, as the case is cold upstairs. He's got to play for kills, and he's not going to find a single one of that moment. Dots gets it, shuts it down. w7m finding daylight. They now lead by 2.
And it's it's what the desk spoke about. When SSG's plan A doesn't work, plan B is a 20-second push onto site where everybody just sprints in, and it does not work against a team like w7m. I've been keeping track of, the opening picks in this game as well. Only 2 of the 8 rounds we've had so far have SSG been able to find the opening kill. It's been w7m time and time and time again. And you got to give SSG credit for even winning 3 rounds when they've been that much against the numbers for so much of this game.
I mean, we like to call it that the bounce back stat line. Realistically, if you lose that opening pick, how well is our team's able to deal with that? I'm looking at it right now for SSG. They need someone to really play in that tip of the spear lineup. Now, Jane, I know is going to be on the Ash, and that's going to be, to me, that idea. He's hitting shots, feeling confident, jumping on that Ash. I mean, Benja's not a natural entry, realistically, for teams. Plays in a more flex role, and so you need that firepower to be supported. But SSG, on this offense, need to find that opening pick. And it's going to be a difficult defense to do it against. It's going to be staring down the barrel of 2 Yokai drones, 3 Evil Eyes, the Maestro, castle barriers, the laser gates, and the mirror window. This is going to be a very, very brutal game of utility usage to break down this defense of w7m.
And I love it. And you look at the lineup that's being brought by SSG, they don't really have the best setup for getting rid of tons of utility. Yes, Hibana can be utilized to get rid of some of those castle barricades to open up the mirror window, but for the most part, no Dawn 6s in play, nothing really there. This is very, very tough for SSG. They need to find the opening pick, though. They need to change the way things have been going, because if you give w7m a man advantage on defense, this will be 6-3.
I couldn't agree more. Difficult one for SSG to solve. Drone network seems good. Only 3 drones lost from that starting prep phase. Mirror's not detected and able to sneak one more of those drones away. Poking out another one of these eyes of SSG. Every single drone lost could be a massive detriment for this team. A lot of flashbangs to buy themselves some space. The 2 logic bombs are a massive tool as well. But I think they're going to slow this down a little bit, and they're going to try and assess the problem that they need to solve in this moment. It's going to be a lot of utility. First logic bomb goes out, and it doesn't look like anyone's really ready to capitalize of it. Benja's locked out of sight. The castle barrier shut him down, and he's playing on that more solo role, so he's left alone. He has to go all the way up red stairs and likely walk into another set of issues to solve.
And the Maestro spotted the Brava drone as well, so this kind of forcing Forest into a tricky spot. There, the drone's going to get caught out, and now information is slowly being drained away from SSG. Benja is in on top of red stairs, but you can see the silhouettes. Everybody else for SSG is currently playing the building externally. They've not gone in, and with that castle barricade place and the footholds, there's nothing he can do.
But Ashen finds something, and that's going to be Dots, and that's going to be the opening pick of this. We mentioned SSG need to find that opening. They've done so. They've now relocated a player to help Benja open up that castle barrier and give them an access into mining. Very critical decision now from SSG as Forrest finds one more. Loban off the board, but Benja traded off by Dash, and this is going to be a massive flank by Dudes, finding one. Ashley got one in that chaos, still dancing around the mining equipment. Can't do much. Shut down 2-piece for Dudes. All down the Forest in 1 versus 2. 40 seconds remain, and limited information to work with in this moment. Case is cold, and w7m will match stylistically now. They'll sit back, they'll wait, they won't extend. They'll press the advantage by letting the time do all that work. Forrest can trade much more damage away. Not unlosable. Oh, I think he's not going to last too much longer. Tries to get that case down. Vub swings out wide. Forrest falls. w7m take round number 9. And they find even more daylight between them.
3 rounds back-to-back now for w7m. SSG got the opening 2 kills, but one flank ruined the whole attack for SSG. You can't let somebody walk from pillars right towards mining door and get themselves a kill. It's like SSG are not the type of team that usually leaves gaps that big for the defense to roam around through, particularly when they've got such a numerical advantage. So for SSG, I feel like they... Another way you can have that argument, did SSG lose the round or did w7m win it? You know, which team made them sick? I feel like SSG's setup whenever they went for the execute lost them the round.
I'm going to play a little bit on the opposite side of you. I think w7m had the perfect strat to counter what SSG done. I think SSG, they had to adapt in that re-round. They had to relocate players. They might have got the opening pick, but the amount of time they wasted, they were likely hoping that Benja could use that logic bomb, walk up red stairs straight in the mining and find that pressure. And again, speaking, you know, we're not in the team, we don't know exactly what the call was, but that to me was going to be they're going to dive bomb on the rotates once Benja walks in the side. That's what I felt like that side was all about. And a single castle barrier shut that down. And that's going to be that cruel reality of Siege, of course. It's got to play it sometimes like chess, and that's what we witnessed. So map point advantage now for w7m. They're in a great position. They've done so well managing their rounds. Let's see if they can continue that one.
I've been working with you 3.5 years, and you've complimented NA more times today than you've complimented them in the previous 3 years combined.
That is true. However, European import and SSG is my team, so.
Thought Liquid were your
Well,
team.
okay, SSG is my North American team when I'm not supporting Liquid, and I'm currently not casting Liquid, as they're against PSG Talent later on today.
I love it. The panic on Whippet's face, by the way, whenever I said he complimented NA, like, oh,
Like, oh my. I haven't even said NA drone once today.
There's still time.
Exactly.
There's still time. This is map point, though, for w7m as they look to win the first best of one of the Esports World Cup here on the A stream. Remember, there is 2 other games going on right now, and you'll probably hear roars and cheers from them in the background as well inside this fantastic arena. Whippet, a minute gone off the clock. No opening engagements just yet. They've got Grim, they've got Dokkaebi. It's going to be another one of those really fast executes whenever the time is called, based on the lineup that they have.
The SSG fan inside of me wants this one to work, but I think w7m are just going to be too difficult to break down in this moment. Everything they've brought has seemingly been able to counter that aggressive kind of one-take style of flight that we've seen from SSG so far. The boogie drones open up that floor, limiting power point positions to hold on to. And they'll move through that map, and SSG have the confidence to do so. They know what w7m's defense is going to be. It's going to be a lateral hold of kitchen. Every team does it. So how do w7m hold on against this one? Benja yet again on that solo position, trying to find an opening, poking around for his team. And again, look at the way SSG are moving around this map. Not a single wasted motion. Love this from this side. Everyone moving with purpose. Everyone knows their role. And the first Grim cans are sent out. Godez marked by it. Logic bombs likely to follow as Benja is going to play a critical role in getting this control in VIP. But under a minute now to work with, and w7m don't need to take risks. SSG have to get aggressive now.
Yeah, and VIP's not being cleared yet. There's still a castle barricade on that window as well, so you're free to play this position. And do we have a bit of a game rotate? Some damage dealt on the castle, but the kill has not been found.
They need to win this next encounter, but Vobs finds it with the LMG. Benja finds one trade on towards Dots, but pressure now and time is going to compact these teams together. It's going to be an absolute car crash for a final round, potentially, as Benja's got himself deep inside a freezer, spots the rifle of the player behind the bakery counter, but can't do anything with that, and every second drains away. Dash finds one more. It's going to be a nightmare as w7m flood the kill feed. Benja alone, finding a second round, but nothing he can do inside a kill boxing kitchen, and w7m take the very first victory of the group stages of the Esports World Cup.
4 rounds back to back to back to back, Whippet, to close that one out. w7m dominated the stat line, they dominated the opening picks. SSG did well to get a couple of rounds, but you're never going to win a game of Siege